So now my goal is to create this this sub block here. So I have this block 1. I want to split it and be able to put 2 kind of sub blocks or 2 pieces of content within it. Now there's multiple ways to do it, but I'll show you one way that I try to do it here. Let's see. So I have my index file here. What we're gonna do first is we need to create these sub blocks. Call it sub block 1. I put these there in the first block, and let's see what that does. If I can go. Oops, there we go. So I have these 2 blocks here. They're just like a line of like a div here, but I want them to share this space evenly. So what I actually need to do is, well, first off, what we're going to do is we're going to give these, we need to make this block, we only want block 1 to also be a flex box, because at the moment these rows are flex boxes. Now I haven't really explained exactly what a flex box is, but a flex box is kind of it makes it so that the items within it kind of are flexible in their width and their height, so that they fit the dimensions of the flex box. Now, interestingly enough, you don't necessarily normally do this, but we set a width and a height here just so we could actually see it. Normally it would be a little bit more flexible because you wouldn't necessarily set that width or height, or maybe yeah, and so it would be a little bit more flexible, but in this case you did, which is okay. But it is interesting because here it actually overrode that width, and it said actually you need to be shorter than that so that we can fit all 3 items inside of this this like section of the screen. Anyway, what we need to do here is we need to make this box itself a flex box so that it more evenly distributes this content here. So, but we don't want all the box. We don't need all the boxes to be a flex box, just this first one. So what we can do is we can make a new class called block. We'll call it block flex here. And all we're going to do is we're going to push display flex. And now we can put this same div here. We want to keep this div here. I actually have it written already, but this class was block, so we still want to keep that one because we want it to have all of these attributes and stylings still. But now we want to add this one as well, only to that first block. So you can write another class. It'll honor both classes, and write that there. And now it becomes a flex box. It still isn't really sharing this. It's not distributing the space. So one way to do this is you could technically give each. You could say, oh, I want this to take up half. I want each sub block to take up half of the space. But I'm going to show you another way to. So you could give it. I guess what I'm trying to say is you could give it a default width that would then would be wider, so then it would kind of fill up the space more. But you don't have to do that. Another way to do this is to, well, first of all, we're going to give each of these a class, and we'll just call it sub here. So then Oops. And so then we can come in here and say sub. And what we are going to do is just do flex 1. And this just means that each sub block, each thing, it just means that each of these is going to take up one part of the space. Because technically you could say, oh, I want this one to take up, I want this to take up, sub 1 to take up 1/3 of the space, and then you could say I want this sub 2 to take 2/3. And how that would look like if you would do sub 1, you want it to be 1 part. You want sub 2 to be 2 parts. So it's worth 2 spaces. Let's see if this works. And what we need to do here is, let's just do background color brown, and let's do background color bisque. Because now, if this will, I think I might need to save this. Oh yeah, I didn't save my HTML page. That's why it's not working. But now you can see here that first block takes up 1/3 of the space, and then this sub block takes up 2/3. So that's just how you can play around with that. But in the case of this, I mean, it's kind of what we did here. What we want to do, we'll keep that 1/3, 2/3. That's fine. But it's split. This is sub block 1. This is sub block 2. It's split like vertically. So there's one more thing we want to do, which is here for this block flex, we want to say flex direction, and we want to make it into a column. Now I haven't saved this yet. I wanted to show you something. So because this is split, this is a row. This FlexBox is spreading these out on a row here. Now if you do column, it now has switched it so that it is the first block is vertically above, it's above the second block. So we essentially made this layout here successfully. So watch the next video and I will show you how I do this on actual content, and we'll go from there.